The NFL playoffs are underway, college basketball is picking up, and in college football, we are one game away from determining who the best team in the country is. As usual, we'll talk about all things in the sports world, keeping you up to date with all the latest news, so why waste any more time? I'm Ben Drury, and this is the Ben Drury Show, so don't go anywhere. Starting in the NFL, through the wild card round, I am a perfect 6 for 6 in picking the games, but I wasn't fully confident the whole time, with most of the games being decided late in the fourth quarter. The two that weren't: the first one was when Drake May and the Patriots took care of the Chargers, and after a few early miscues, Mike Vrabel's team is looking great going forward as they won 16-3. Then, in the last game of the round during Monday Night Football, the Texans, who led by just 1 point at halftime, were truly too much for the Steelers, who were formerly led by Mike Tomlin, who stepped down this week, and CJ Stroud's team moves on to the next round as they won in a blowout 30-6. However, the Bills did not have the same luck and had to play until the final whistle as they had a nail-biting win against the Jaguars, winning on a drive orchestrated by Josh Allen, who led his team down the field to take the lead and win 27-24 in the closing minutes. On the other side of the bracket, all of the NFC matchups were decided by 4 or fewer points, with the lower seed winning all but one of the games. In a renewed rivalry, the Bears took care of the Packers as Caleb Williams led his team to an 18-point comeback, scoring 25 of their 31 points in the fourth quarter. The two-seeded Bears move on, and the only thing quicker than Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur's post-game handshake was the Rams' comeback against the Panthers. The Stafford-led Rams beat Carolina on their own field as they won the game 34-31. Finally, the 49ers stopped the Eagles' dreams of repeating as Super Bowl champions as Brock Purdy and George Kittle, before his Achilles tear, upset Philadelphia at their own stadium, winning the game 23-19. On the collegiate level, the stage is set for the National Championship game that will take place next Monday at Hard Rock Stadium. And for the Miami Hurricanes, they'll need all the help they can get, and this is practically a home game. But their opponent is the Indiana Hoosiers, who, along with having possibly the greatest college football story of all time, have an excellent traveling fan base who may give the Miami faithful a run for their money. We'll have a formal preview show later on the channel, which you can subscribe to right now, but for now, these things are the main things you need to know. For Miami, they need great quarterback play from veteran Carson Beck, and more specifically, he cannot turn over the ball, because this season the Hoosiers are plus 1.5 in the turnover margin, and when they turn quarterbacks over, it's not good for that team. An example, Dante Moore last week. How'd that turn out for him? On the other side of the ball, for Miami, they need to do the same to Fernando Mendoza. And even if they don't force interceptions, pressures are just as important when defending the Heisman-winning quarterback. Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor will be key here. Then for Indiana, they need the offensive line to step up and shut down Miami's defensive front. They have done well so far this postseason in doing that, and they will need to keep it up to win a national championship. The Hoosiers will also need to play great defense in the secondary in an attempt to not only shut down Beck, but also shut down freshman star receiver Malachi Toney, who is a true game breaker when he isn't defended well. This matchup will be a great one to watch, and all eyes will be on these two teams in Miami come next Monday. Finally, moving on to the hardwood, college basketball is approaching the halfway point of the season, and as conference play begins, competition to be a part of the field of 68 come March is heating up. In the men's game, there are a few undefeated teams remaining and a few more teams who are still title contenders. Arizona sits atop the AP poll at 16-0, and they really haven't been challenged this season. In years past, the SEC has shown their dominance in the college basketball landscape, but this year we have seen the ACC, the Big 12, as well as the Big 10 move back on the scene, with each having countless teams in the top 25 and a few of them having teams in the top 10. When looking at bracketology, the 4 teams projected to take the top seeds in March Madness are Arizona, Michigan, Iowa State, as well as UConn, who, led by Dan Hurley, are having another great season. And besides their hiccup against Providence a week ago, UConn has looked unbeatable. For my own Missouri Tigers, who face the Auburn Tigers tonight, the Dennis Gates-led squad has had a lot to work on if they want to even have a shot in playing in March. And after wins against Florida and Kentucky, things looked promising. But after a bad road loss against Ole Miss, I'm not convinced. But the things to fix are making free throws and actually having an offensive identity, which means Gates has his work cut out for him. But that's what good coaches are for. So we will see what happens with Mizzou down the stretch. With that being said, that's all we have for tonight's episode of The Ben Drury Show. I'm Ben Drury. Good night.